Fourth, God's people must move forward with faith and assurance that, just as He has helped and saved them in the past, He will surely help and save them now. Today's text, Psalm 3 verse 7, says, "Arise, O Lord, save me, O my God. For you have struck all my enemies on the cheek, you have broken the teeth of the wicked. Arise, O Lord, save me, O my God." Here, the phrase God arises is an anthropomorphic expression, signifying God's rising from His throne to judge the wicked and deal with their adversaries. In other words, David is pleading with God to quickly deal with his adversaries, his enemies, who have betrayed and threatened him. In other words, David is pleading with God to save himself from the great suffering, threats, discouragement, despair, intimidation, and betrayal they have caused him. However, the next verse tells us why David is praying this way. "You have struck all my enemies on the cheek, you have broken the teeth of the wicked." The Hebrew conjunction she appears at the beginning of this sentence, indicating the reason and basis for David's prayer. Furthermore, this sentence is in the perfect tense, so it can be interpreted as referring to a past event. It can also be viewed as a prophetic perfect tense, expressing assurance of the future. In other words, this verse suggests that the reason David is praying this way is because God has struck all of David's enemies on the cheek and broken the teeth of the wicked in the past. Perhaps God is also striking all of David's enemies on the cheek and breaking their teeth now and in the future. In other words, because God has done so in the past, He will surely do so now and in the future. Here, strike the enemy on the cheek symbolizes smiting and crushing the enemy's plots, schemes, and power, thereby putting that enemy to shame. Furthermore, break the teeth of the wicked signifies restraining the wicked from harming David again, from using any schemes, tricks, or power. In other words, if we, God's people, encounter any unexpected hardships or tribulations while living on this earth, we must move forward with the faith and certainty that, just as God has struck and crushed all the plots, schemes, and powers of our enemies in the past, He will do the same in the present. We must move forward with the conviction and faith that, just as God has heard and answered my prayers in the past, He will hear and answer my prayers now and in the future.
Click on the church name to learn more.